Running a strong campaign against 43rd Ward incumbent Alderman Michelle Smith, Carolyn Vickrey is an attorney with a long list of Lincoln Park neighborhood volunteer activities, like Oz Park and the Lincoln Elementary Local School Council. She says development in her ward is broken. I'm Mike Fouché, publisher of Aldertrack, and this is our Meet a Chicago Candidate series. So tell me, Carolyn, why did you decide to run for alderman?
Well, several neighbors and friends and fellow board members encouraged me to run after seeing a number of promises that were broken by our aldermen over the past 4 years. It started with my involvement on the Lincoln Elementary School Local School Council, and a big decision that was made. There was a very controversial plan to expand the school. That school is overcrowded, and there were several proposals that were made in the neighborhood to solve the overcrowding. And the process in the way that it was handled by our current alderman really was dissatisfying to many people in the neighborhood. And then there was a parallel process taking place at the Children's Memorial Hospital redevelopment, and people were similarly dissatisfied with the process and the way that it took place. And so they encouraged me to run, and I've found through my travels in the ward that the same dissatisfaction is echoed in really all corners of the ward with this current alderman.
So would you consider yourself an Emanuel or Fioretti or Wilson or Garcia supporter?
I'm really staying neutral in the mayor's race. I'm voting on Monday, and I've got to decide.
Michelle Smith is very Rahm Emanuel. I mean,
oh,
she's
absolutely, absolutely, and she talks about that all the time. And I have disagreed with many things the mayor has done. I've agreed with other things that he's done for the city. So I'm not going to be his cheerleader. He hasn't obviously endorsed me, but I haven't endorsed any other candidate as of now, and they haven't endorsed me. I'm trying to stay neutral and focus on my own race because that's what's most important. And I am planning to vote for who I conclude by Monday will best get our city back in a good financial position.
So a lot of what an alderman does is ward maintenance,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is actually probably one of your biggest concerns about the current alderman.
Yeah.
If you had one main citywide issue, what would it be?
As opposed to a local ward
Correct.
issue, it's really our finances and the just the financial situation of the city. It's a problem that no one has easy answers to, and we definitely need to tackle it. But one thing we definitely need to do is not dig the hole any deeper. And I think that everything that we do in our city has to be viewed through the lens of our fiscal situation. And I feel like we talk about it, and it's in a self-contained sort of way, and then we go and we approve projects without thinking about how it fits into the bigger picture in our city. And I think that's what we need to do more, is look at everything all together and make the best decisions.
So in that
forward.
vein, you've said the current pension systems are unsustainable and that we need new revenue and changes in benefits. So does that mean property tax increases and cutting benefits?
There's probably going to have to be a combination of new revenue streams, which is figuring out how we go about doing that, and alterations to benefits. From everything that I've read and studied, and I've been doing a lot of research on this, there's going to have to be some sort of combination going forward. In addition to which, we just don't want to dig the hole any deeper with projects that are unnecessary, and we witnessed that in our own ward. So I want to give you a direct answer about the revenue streams. Property taxes, I feel like, are really maxed out. I feel like people are really teetering on the edge of not being able to afford being in the city any longer. I'm thinking that income, maybe graduated income tax, might be something that's more sustainable. We just want to make sure whatever we're doing, we have to look really carefully at it to make sure that we're not taking people out of the city. And there has to be some sort of reasonable combination of all, a varied combination of revenue sources and cuts to, reform of pension that's out there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Sure. Thank you.
You can learn more about the Carolyn Vickrey campaign and 183 others by subscribing to our email newsletter at aldertrack.com, by listening to this series at Rivet Radio, or by subscribing to this series on YouTube. Thank you very much. More great stuff to come.